Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of Shri Rama Bharti Public School. This is Natasha here and I will be explaining social science topics. We all see a number of physical features on the earth. We can all see mountains, plains, plateaus, water bodies. But what led to the formation of these features? How were these physical features actually formed? How was our Indian landmass formed? Let's try to find out through this lesson. In this topic, we will discuss about the physical features of India. Now, first of all, what do you understand by physical features? Physical features are those features which are naturally created on the earth. It consists of landforms. Landforms means type of relief structure or topography or land present in an area. For example, it can be a mountain, a plain, or a plateau. It further consists of ecosystems and water bodies. So physical features are the features that are naturally created on the earth. It consists of landforms, ecosystems and water bodies. Now in India, the major physiographic divisions or the major physical features are the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains and the islands. Now it is worthy to note that India is the only country in the entire world that has all these physical features. No other country possesses all the physical divisions. We can find all the physical features such as mountains, plains, plateau, deserts, coastal plains, as well as islands in India. And that's what makes India a distinctive country. Now, before going into the depth of this topic, we first need to understand a theory called theory of plate tectonics. This theory is important as it basically explains the formation of all major continents and all major landforms on Earth. Now, since we are studying physical features of India, we first need to know the reason of formation of these physical features. And this is explained by theory of plate tectonics. So according to this theory, the crust or the upper layer of the earth has been formed of 7 major and some minor plates. The cracks that are present on the earth, these are basically called plates. And thus, the theory states that the crust is made up of these type of 7 major and some minor plates. So basically, the theory of plate tectonics states that Earth is divided into 7 major and some minor plates. Now these plates are continuously moving as they are basically floating on magma. Now, what do we understand by the statement that plates are floating on magma? First, we know that Earth is divided into layers. The upper layer is called crust. Then beneath crust lies the magma. And the innermost layer is called core. Now the mantle is in a semi-solid state. It is neither pure solid nor pure liquid. It is more like a jelly. Thus, since the upper layer crust has no rigid support, it is basically floating on mantle. Due to this, the plates on crust are continuously moving. Now, continuously moving does not mean that if you slept here in Haryana at night, the movement of plates will make you wake up in Europe the next day. No, the movement of these plates is very slow. It takes years and years for the plates to move an inch. And that's why we are not able to feel this movement, because it is so slow. So now we know that the plates are continuously moving, and these movements lead to folding, faulting, and volcanic activities. Now through this we know that the plates move. Since crust has no solid support, because mantle is in semi-solid state, it makes the plates move. Due to these plate movements, various changes occur. So first of all, basically there are three types of tectonic plate movements. They are divergent, convergent, and transform. Let's start with convergent plate movement. In convergent plate movement, two plates come towards each other. They collide and lead to the formation of a folding structure called mountains. I'll repeat, convergent plate boundary leads to the formation of folding structure called mountains. Converge means basically to meet at a point, to converge at a point. When two slides move towards each other, they collide and it leads to formation of a folding structure called mountains. Now in divergent plate movement, due to the convection currents released by magma inside the mantle, the plates diverge from each other. Diverge means to move away from each other. When they move away from each other, it leads to creation of gaps between them. These gaps are called rift valleys. And this process is called faulting. I'll repeat again. In divergent plate movement, plates diverge from each other or they move away from each other due to the convection currents or heat currents released by magma which is present inside the mantle. And when these plates move away from each other, it leads to creation of valleys between two plates. Thus, divergent plate movement leads to formation of rift valleys. Now, the third type of plate movement is transform plate movement. Under transform plate movement, the plates neither come towards each other nor they move away from each other. Instead, they move horizontally. If one plate is moving southward, the other would move northward, and which further causes earthquakes or volcanoes. So divergent plate boundary leads to faulting. Convergent plate boundary leads to folding, and transform plate boundary leads to earthquakes or volcanoes. Let's revise this topic again. There are basically three types of tectonic plate movements: divergent, convergent, and transform. Under divergent plate boundary, two plates move away from each other. Diverge means to move away. Now these plates move away from each other because of the heating currents or the convection currents released by the magma that is present inside the mantle. When these plates move away from each other, it leads to formation of valleys, and thus it creates a faulting structure called rift valley. Under convergent plate movement, two plates move towards each other. To converge means to meet at a point. When these two plates move towards each other, they collide and lead to formation of a folding structure. These folding structures are called mountains. Under transform plate movement, if one plate is moving southward, the other moves northward. The plates basically move horizontally and lead to the occurrence of earthquakes or volcanoes. Divergent plate movement lead to faulting. Convergent plate movement leads to folding, and transform plate movements causes earthquakes or volcanoes. Now, there is a do you know fact in your textbooks which states that most volcanoes and earthquakes in the world are located at plate margins. This is because these cracks are the most sensitive areas on the crust. A slight movement beneath the crust and the magma tries to find its way out through these cracks in the form of lava. And the areas that lie on these cracks face the largest number of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. For example, Japan faces so many earthquakes because it lies on a plate margin. Thus, it proves that most volcanoes and earthquakes in the world are located at plate margins because these are the most sensitive areas on the crust. Now, this theory will further help us to understand the formation of Indian landmass. Originally, there was one single big landmass present on the Earth's surface, and it was named as Pangaea. It was surrounded by water on all sides, and the water body was named as Panthalassa. Now, the northern part of Pangaea was called Angara or Laurasia, whereas its southern part was called Gondwana land. Now, the Gondwana land consisted of present-day India, Australia, South America, Africa, and Antarctica as one single landmass. Over time, what happened was convectional currents or heat currents released by magma inside the mantle caused the divergent movement of these plates, and it split the crust into a number of pieces, as you can see in the GIF below. So this basically explains the split up of the entire big landmass Pangaea and how it led to the formation of present-day continents and water bodies. So this was the theory of plate tectonics and how it led to the formation of Indian landmass. We will further study about the formation of Indian landmass in detail as well as the physiographic divisions of India in the next part of this topic. So stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good day.